everyone, Danielle here for day 4 of Neat and Tangled's November 2013 release week. If you've missed days 1, 2, and 3, there are links at the top of this blog post, so you can click on them and head over and see stamp sets that were revealed the first 3 days. You also still have time to comment on those posts to enter to win those stamp sets. You have until midnight tonight, and winners will be announced tomorrow morning just before 8 a.m. and then all stamps and sequins will be available in the Neat and Tangled shop to purchase at 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time tomorrow, which is Friday, November 22nd. And so you've seen 3 stamp sets so far. I have 1 more stamp set for you today, and then tomorrow there will be a digital stamp and a variety pack of sequins as well. So be sure to stop back again tomorrow to see if you won and to check out the digital stamp, which is actually going to be free with any purchase, or you can purchase it on its own for $2. And also there's a really fun holiday sequin mix for tomorrow as well. So all of you sequin lovers should be happy. Alright, and I'll show you today's stamp set. Today's stamp set is called You Plus Me, and this is another 4x6 set, so it will retail for $15. And this is kind of a love, good for Valentine's Day, or even, you know, you could use it for a friend or, you know, anyone really. It doesn't have to necessarily be love. And the inspiration behind this is kind of nerdy. My husband is a math teacher, and not that he doesn't talk about math all the time, obviously, but every now and then he does, and for whatever reason he must have talked about math, and then I had a dream about Venn diagram stamps, and so that was one of the first concepts that I had, and I'm getting around to now, since I thought Valentine's Day was kind of approaching in the next few months, that now would be a good time to get it out there. So so this stamp is kind of nerdy. It is designed so that you can create Venn diagrams. If you're not familiar with a Venn diagram, you'll kind of get the idea from the design team projects. You could Google it, obviously, and also I will stamp it so you can, I'm going to stamp one out so you can kind of get the idea. So I will go ahead and I'll stamp this out. You're going to get a large open circle. It measures over just over 2 1/4 inches, but it's not quite 2 1/2. So it's a good size circle. It is open. It's just the outline of the circle. So without further ado, I will stamp out a few examples just so you can see get the idea of how they work. So what a Venn, if you're not familiar, a Venn diagram is, you don't necessarily have to use it in math either. I remember using them in English a lot, or history. We used them in science occasionally, so you know, it's not just a math thing, but with the You Plus Me equals also in this set, it might be geared more towards those math types. But I'm going to ink up the circle. Forgive me for how dirty all of my stamps and blocks are. They just get they get a lot of use, but they don't get cleaned a whole lot during release week. So as the week progresses, you'll see my blocks and stamps get dirtier and dirtier. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to stamp one circle. And the way that these were designed were so that you would use, you know, just has the one circle, and then you're going to use it and you're going to stamp it over again to create the Venn diagram. Now, if you're going to use a sentiment in the middle, in the overlapping where the circles overlap, there are a couple ways you can do it. The sentiments, awesome, forever, together, I think our life fits in there, love, us, they all will fit. They all have been designed to fit in between, in the overlap part of the circles. And this solid shape here is actually meant to be the overlap portion of the circle. So you can shade it, you could stamp it in. And this is wide enough, it's perfect for all of those sentiments that I just mentioned to fit in there. If you didn't want to use the petal shape stamp as your overlap, a good way to create the Venn diagram is to stamp one circle first, and then pick whatever sentiment it is that you want to put in the middle. So say I wanted to do awesome, I would pick up the awesome and I would ink it up. And you're going to want to try and get, okay, so here we go again. You could be very precise with this and get out a ruler, or you can do the lazy way like me and just eyeball everything. And what you want to do, if you're, either approach, you want to get it to the widest part of the circle. And it doesn't have to be right up against the circle, but kind of just near the edge. And then you're going to stamp your sentiment. And then what you'll do is you'll come back with your circle again. And you're gonna, here's a part where it would be a good idea to use a ruler, a straight edge, or even a Stamp-A-Majig, because you do want your circles to be parallel. You don't want one to be up higher than the other. I mean, you could definitely do that to get a more kind of like an artistic look, but if you're trying to do a traditional Venn diagram, you would want them to be nice and parallel. But I'm just gonna slide this down a little bit kind of out of the camera so I can get a better look. And I'm going to do my best to just kind of eyeball this. Get the circle straight. Oh, and of course I panicked at the last minute and moved it. But anyway, you'll get the, oh, actually, I think I might have done it. So there you go. So you'd stamp one circle, put your sentiment in the middle, stamp the other circle on the other side. That's one way that you could approach this. And then I'll show you kind of what the intention was. Then you would stamp you on one side, and I apologize because I'm not lining all these things up just because I don't want this video to be 20 minutes long. And then you would put me on the other side, and then you could do one of two things. You could, well, I guess 3 things, or 4 or 5. You could you could always paper piece these circles and the pieces. You could paper piece the middle part. That would look really cool. Pop it up maybe on some foam with some foam adhesive. You can use this solid petal stamp here to ink up and fill in the middle. And I'll actually really quickly just do that so you can see. So then, and you could just take it, and again, obviously I'm just eyeballing everything right now, but you can see that this petal stamp fits perfectly in between the 2 circles when you use one of the sentiments. So it's a perfect way to quickly shade in the middle. So you could do it like that, or another easy way that honestly I didn't even think of, even though this is probably the most obvious of choices, is that you could stamp your circles and sentiment, whatever, and then just use a marker or a colored pencil or whatever color, oh gosh, look at all these fingerprints, any other coloring medium that you have, and you could actually just color it in, and then you could do like fun gradients or stripes or pattern or whatever. Lots of options with how you could do the circles themselves and the middle portion. So that's kind of how you create your Venn diagram, and then like I had said, the awesome fits in the middle, and then you have a bunch of other sentiments. I'll flip it over. Forever fits in there, love, us, together, and I believe our life fits in there. Yep, and our life fits in there as well. And in addition to being able to create the Venn diagrams, you can do fun little fun little cards. You plus me equals us, you plus me equals love forever, you plus me equals forever. You know, lots of fun love kind of little fun sentiments you can create. Great for clean and simple cards. You're also going to get open heart and a solid heart and an arrow. So again, good for creating backgrounds or adding just little accents to a card. And then this petal shape, which was designed to be kind of the overlap portion of your Venn diagram, also is perfect for a flower. Linda and Shari both did really beautiful flowers creating, cards creating flowers using this petal. So you don't have to just do love or Venn diagrams. You can do a lot of other things. You can use the big circles just to create a pattern. Linda did that really well too. So you know, don't feel limited with what you can do with the circles in the set as a whole. And I'm sure you already know that. So many of you do so many amazing things with these stamps that never would have even crossed my mind. But what else did I want to show you? There was something else. Oh, I was going to show you one other way that you could do the Venn diagrams, and I promise I'll be fast. So another way, on the front I showed you, you could stamp a circle, stamp your sentiment, stamp the other circle, and then fill it in. It's not always guaranteed. I actually did a pretty perfect job of stamping the circles together so that the petal shape fit. But honestly, that was like the first time that worked out for me. Because normally I'm just a little bit off. My circle's a little too big or a little too small. So another way to do it is to stamp one circle and then ink up. Where did my other block go? Oh. And then you're going to ink up the petal stamp. It would help if I had the right side facing up. And then this is another thing where you do kind of want to be a little more careful when you're stamping it, so I'm just going to bring it down here. I'm sure this is not going to be nearly perfect, but hopefully I can get close enough. So what I did was I just slide this up. I stamped the circle, I inked up the petal portion, that could be the overlap between the two, inked it up, stamped it, actually did a decent job of doing that, of lining it up. You can see the awesome from on the front when I stamped it. And then you would come back in with your circle again to complete the Venn diagram. And the dirtier this stamp gets, the harder it gets to see. Ta-da! I actually did an okay job. So you can see how it's a little bit crooked, but like I said, that's just my fault for being fast and lazy. So you could do it like that. Stamp a circle, stamp the overlap, stamp the other circle. And that's how you could get your Venn diagrams. Okay, so that's the stamp set for today. I think you guys kind of get the idea. Plain piece of paper. I'll get this out of this way. So this is called You Plus Me. This is the 4th stamp set that you'll see today. This week. It's a 4x6. It's going to be $15, and it'll be available tomorrow at 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time in the Neat and Tangled store. And tomorrow in the post, I'll link to that and remind you guys again. But good for any day. Good for Valentine's Day. Good for love, and just kind of a fun, unique set. Don't forget to comment to enter to win, and I will see you guys back here tomorrow for one more reveal. It'll be a digital stamp and a pack of variety sequins, and thanks for watching.